What's going on, gamers? So this is going to be an interesting one because DreamcastGuy, I've watched like the first 3-4 minutes, is admitting some regrets with the PS5 Pro. And Tim, 4 months have passed. 2025 review. Does he regret buying it? He definitely does share some of that. And will there be some? Well, I'm not sure, but we do know that he lifts. We all lift over here, right? I'm sorry, man. I know you guys have seen it in one of my thumbnails that I've done. But when I first seen this, I was laughing pretty hard. Not in not in a negative way, but just more like it's pretty funny, man. You know what I mean? Because anybody that gets the inside laughing feeling automatically, it syncs with you guys. He's letting you know, bro. I don't just slurp. I lift. So. He's got a girlfriend and all that too. Nah, good. I'm happy for him though. Getting back to this stuff. Sorry, that was funny. I had to add some little bit of entertainment in there. It just cracks me up. We're gonna see what he says here. I gave him a like for actually not doing a clickbait video because it's actually more of an honest take. But Sony is in here too. So let's get into this. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. All right, y'all. Let's go.
Now been a couple months since the PlayStation 5 Pro initially came out, and ever since that November 7th release date, I bought one day one, and that $700 price tag was not cheap. This was a very substantial gadget price tag. It's probably one of the most expensive pieces of tech I've ever bought. And a question I see very often in the comment section is, hey, you review games, you primarily play on PlayStation. Do you regret buying it? And now that I've sat down with it, now that I've had a chance to beat a lot of games and pop a lot of platinums and spend a lot of time with it, I think I really love the Pro more and more, but it still just doesn't feel worth it. And I want to.
That's interesting. Nah, but jokes aside, like he just said, he made that statement. You saw what he said right there, 47 seconds. He's loving it a little bit more, which most likely people mean like when they say that. I don't think they really mean love. It just doesn't feel worth it. Now, I've explained to people multiple times that when it comes to this console, when a PS5 Pro came out, it felt worth it big time, considering that it was the original price of the PS4 when it came out. Sony dropped the price by 100 and they gave you the Pro for 100 more. Um, and 4K TVs were a big thing in the world at that time. It was starting to become the standard. And then there was games around it too, exclusives around it, and then benefits like big time, right? It was like with the PS5 Pro, that's not necessarily the case. And not only did they not drop the price, but they jacked it up $200 more of the original price of the PS5. So that would be like charging $600 for the PS4 Pro. Yikes. Yeah, you're paying $300 more dollars. No. Definitely with the problems that it had at launch on PSSR and just having no first party games around it, it's just kind of felt like they wanted to get that out on the market and beta test. Like it was in beta. It's the first time you're going to release a console that's in beta to use you guys as beta test programmers, see what they needed to do with it, and they realized what they wanted to do, Project Amethyst. Remember, they had made it, so they kept you in the dark about that. Reforge.
Explain why. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, part of the inspiration for this is the big digital Foundry drama that's been popping up on the internet this morning, which is
Yeah, I
that
read it.
Digital Foundry has been doing this thing where they do technical breakdowns. They count pixels, they analyze resolution, they're frame rate aficionados. And so what they've been doing is that whenever a big game comes out, they do a video comparison, the PlayStation version to the Xbox version to the PC version, and then separately, they've been doing these videos about the PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements because they're significant. The PS5 Pro has been a
For this game, yeah. And what happened to the PS5 or PlayStation anti-consumer stuff you had going against Digital Foundry when they're showing the PS5 Pro enhancements and they've been doing that? It's like you got these people where you just make these baseless accusations and it's like, man, you want to do something intelligent, please?
Surprising start to 2025 because some of the games I've played the most, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Assassin's Creed Shadows, these games actually look different, not just better.
Monster Hunter Wilds is not fully optimized, so the PS5 Pro version should look like the base, and it should be another improvement. You know what I mean? Not to say that it's terrible, but it's like I still blow it away on my PC, and I can tell you that that's still not fully optimized. So yeah, I don't know about that. Now this game, yeah,
Different on the Pro. And I saw Gene Park say this, holy cow, I had no idea the version I was playing was a big improvement. Now, this is how I felt as well. I beat it on the PS5 Pro. I wasn't talking to anybody else playing on the PlayStation 5. I had no idea that the entire graphics engine, the way it simulates shadows and reflections, is fundamentally different. Now, something we took for granted at the time was the technology inside of the Pro. Sony has talked in a couple different deep dives that it's more than just extra power. It's not just, hey,
Uh-oh.
here's more RAM or a more efficient solid state. No, it's actually got special programming and gadgets and stuff inside.
Special programming. Wow. What a mid-range AMD PC that's been available on PC, not doing anything new, just all bootleg, fully integrated PC features. Come on, man. Like I said, it's trying to compete with a 4060 Ti. You know what I mean? And the PSSR failed. Now they're already replacing it. It's not anything special. It's just more Sony PR nonsense. No, let's not play that game. Nope, 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 nope. I'm stopping that. Nope. Nope.
Of it so the games run better. AI tech, refractory stuff that actually makes it look better. And I saw this guy. This is actually the dude over at Ubisoft who worked on
GPU upgrade with a wannabe AI upscaling system. That's backward feats of RDNA 4 or 3. That's it. It's very simple, bro. You know what I mean? It's like anything, it's PC's been doing it. So yeah, trying to make that special, I don't know what to tell you, man. But all they're doing is taking advantage of the upgraded GPU in there and using an AI upscaling system. That's it.
the Pro patch.
Not anything
And
special.
instead, we wanted to go the extra mile for the PS5 Pro to deliver a meaningful improvement with the extra power. Now, I've noticed people starting to say, maybe it's time.
They wanted to go the extra mile instead of charging you $700 for forcing into 2 TB, which you can get outside of that on sale. They should have put a CPU in there. That's better. Same thing should have been $600.
This is possibly the most transformative PS5 upgrade we've ever seen. Now, I have put very close to 100 hours into Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the game undeniably looks fantastic. But I feel like this is both good and it highlights my concern with the Pro, which is that these patches cannot be cheap. This is a lot of extra development time. It's more budget. It's more focus. And my concern is that I have no idea how good or bad the PS5 Pro is selling. It could be selling.
PS5 Pro sales have fallen behind the PS5 Pro's pace in the US, which is obvious. Likely due to a combination of factors, including the higher price point and a general decline in console hardware spending. Sales slowdown, industry context, price factor, PS5 Pro's legacy, other consoles, and specifics from Matt Piscatella. You see what I mean? And you see the articles already, or PS5 Pro sales falling behind PS Pro pace in the US, and it just went flat in Japan. Even when Monster Hunter Wilds came out, nobody paid attention to it because Japan's not going to fall for that. They're going to get where they could just play the game on. You know what I mean? Because they're okay with even the Switch still into this date. So getting PS5 tech is like already a huge leap for Japan, and it runs fine. And they'll even do frame rate or like balance mode. But at the end of the day, like nobody's going to get the Pro. Their saving grace will be what, GTA? Hopefully, right? But even then, most people still just want to get a console to play it. That's why I try to tell people, like, it's literally the most unattractive console ever created. What's the point? You know what I mean? At the rate that they were going behind it. It's not like you were supporting that coming out. You're basically doing the same thing that Valve did with the Steam Deck. Not that I think the Steam Deck is a failure in that sense, but just more like it's gonna have a niche audience. You don't have anything for it. You're not pushing this like generation with like amazing software coming out around it. Just seems like a supplementary device for hardcore enthusiasts in the PlayStation spectrum, or people who want to get the closest powerful experience to a PC in the console world. Which there's nothing wrong with that if you want to go buy it for that reason. But to try to justify to make it seem like Sony made the right decisions with it, no, everything they did with that was wrong. Damn near.
Terrible. It could have bombed. I actually haven't seen any digits thus far.
You should.
And my concern is the fact that companies are currently investing in the Pro because they've been working on these patches for months, if not years. People have
Sony definitely helped out and probably put some money there so that you could show off their consoles. Not going to just leave it there. Like you said, who would want to spend all those resources for a console that doesn't have a huge base at all? Dude, 95, 96, 97% of the PlayStation users have a PS5. So you want to cater to that market. Do you think you want to spend that much money on a Pro patch when nobody's going to really be buying it for the Pro? It's not like this game is in paradise anyways. It's always been in hot sinking water and it's been on the edge. And it's not going to save the company. The company's in trouble. You know what I mean? So you think they want to spend extra resources when Ubisoft doesn't have the money to do that? No, of course Sony supplied them that. That's pretty obvious. Digital Foundry showing it off. So you see what I'm saying? We got our answers right there. That's just using your intelligence and deduction skills with a bit of common sense.
had that PS5 Pro dev kits for a bit. And so when they're making this version of the game, it's because they probably expect that the Pro is going to be a substantial chunk of the audience. But what happens if the PS5 Pro sold 1 million units? Say there's 80 million PS5s and 1 million PS.
DreamcastGuy, you cannot be this out of touch with reality and I realize it only sold like 1.5 million or maybe 2 million by now. But if you shipped 75 million consoles, then 73 million PlayStation 5 shipped. But the people bought probably around 68, 69 million, you know what I mean? And how many people are actually playing out of that since the beginning? There's not that many people, no. When we talk about just who's active and actually on their PS5 playing it. Yeah, because there was a crap ton of scalpers and bots and all that stuff buying it. So when you really think about the reality, that's not how many people are on PlayStation. It's not how many people are playing. It's lower than that. That's the deception that people don't understand when it comes to scalping and bots. The number's not what you think. It's just reality. I'm just saying, y'all. So,
PS5 Pros, are they really going to invest this amount of effort, the Assassin's Creed Shadow Redder, transformative PS5 Pro performance? They're probably not. They're probably going to boost it a bit, make it look a little bit better, spruce it up. But my concern is that the Pro, if it doesn't become more successful or if it doesn't hit that bottom bar of needs, my concern is that the Pro upgrades are going to become less and less substantial, and I'm basically just going to have an overpriced PS5. But I want to go back to the fact
I can understand some type of worry about that because I think that's what happened at first. And it's not even that too, but it's more like, are Sony going to get involved with that? Because they, in a way, they kind of have to. That's why they're doing what they're doing now, to make it easier on developers, because they don't want to deal with that shit. I can say that for sure. They just don't want to deal with it. So you're going to have to get involved. You're going to have to provide something supplementary to make sure that that does happen. You see, otherwise, you're kind of just getting on my nerves with this console. That's how I would feel.
that I do feel like it's been cool to me that some companies have been going back and making Pro patches. Like we saw that for the Silent Hill remake. We saw this for randomly, I don't know why. But,
otherwise,
what is this? The Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy got a PS5 Pro upgrade that made the water and shadows, and especially the walls, the lights, the shadows.
Yeah, because think about it, guys. If you already sold everything you needed to sell and you see you're not getting no more sales and they release a Pro, how are you getting benefited by that? They're going to have to benefit you in a way as a developer or as a publisher, right? You want me to go back on... That's why Cyberpunk said no. You know what I mean? Because, like, the Cyberpunk devs at CD Projekt, they're like, well, you know, you think it like this. Right, you only sold 2 million consoles so far? And it's all this and that? So how many people out of that 2 million are going to buy my game? Do you even think 100,000? You kind of get what I'm saying here? Because it's like... Yeah, that many people bought that, but for what game though? You know what I mean? They're mostly going to continue doing what they're doing. It's not to buy like these new games that they look for. So that ratio is going to be very low, and the developer is aware of this. So if I'm going to get benefited, then you're going to have to supply something because nobody's going to go buy the PS5 Pro version. You'd have to have a huge audience, and I'm trying to cater to an audience that what has 2 million. How many people are actually active out of that even right now that want to buy my game? You see what I mean? That's very low. So
Shadows, they look way, way, way different. Now,
that's why you
obviously,
need
you're seeing a
in-house.
screen recording of a upload on Twitter, uploaded to YouTube. So, yeah, you're kind of getting a diminishing returns effect. But trust me when I say that everybody who's played this, these upgrades are interesting. They're noticeable, but I feel like what I wanted most with the Pro that has been fulfilled successfully is better frame rate. I have always hated that so many games require, hey, pick good frame rate or pick good resolution. You get one or the other. Do you want to play it at freaking 4K 30 FPS or do you want to play it at 1080p 60 FPS? And I hated that. And the reason I got the Pro is because I want to be able to have quality visuals with good performance. And I feel like the Pro, for me, has fulfilled that. I do think that, especially when you see games like right here, this is obviously, this is obviously right here, this is obviously right here, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and it is interesting that the PS5 Pro's like quality when it comes to.
But every single game should be like that. If you're paying a couple hundred more dollars, you have to be able to see the difference. If I have to zoom in, like Digital Foundry was saying at first, then what the hell, man? What's the point? Because you're not going to do that when you're playing the game. You need to notice it as soon as you look at it. That's what it needs to be about. And if it's like that, that's not bad. Why would I hate on that? I have no problem with the PS5 Pro getting better. I have a problem with the way Sony handled the situation. And this is always the misunderstanding between fanboys and people who want to listen to why that's the issue, right? Because they just sit there and only want you to speak positive about it when it's like you realize how much of a fraud you're being because you're being positively toxic. You're trying to make people think that it's this much better when in reality this is the reality, but you're not doing that. You want to be positively fake about it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to entertain and be genuine, right? Because the most important thing that I think, I disagree with a lot of people, is you should be genuine and not lose your soul and not lose your dignity and who you are, rather than just mindlessly entertaining. Number one is being genuine to me, and none of you will never change my opinion about that. If you only are just there to be an entertainer first and foremost, then aren't you saying you want to be a puppet too? You don't want to be genuine? Entertainment is important, of course, but not losing your identity and being genuine is more important than that, and being real with your audience, right? And having a quality of love. That's way more important than just being a shadow on a stage. So that's why it's good to not agree with everyone's mindset because it's like, no, I want to be genuine first and foremost. That's the most important thing. And that's the problem in this world. There's too many fake people. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. And I respect him at least admitting his regrets on the PS5 Pro and not just slurping all over the place for Sony for clickbaits and to make money off of his audience. We don't do that over here. All right, y'all. Ponies, you sit down.